So what happens when a father's love goes way too far and becomes blatant, in-your-face favoritism? Well, we're about to dive into one of the most foundational stories of family dysfunction and betrayal ever told, straight out of the book of Genesis. We're talking about the story of Joseph and his brothers. I know, it sounds like a bit of a stretch, right? A coat, a couple of dreams, but we're going to break down exactly how these things, a father's obvious favoritism and a few seemingly innocent dreams, lit a fire of hatred so intense it would literally change the course of history for an entire people. Okay, so let's set the scene. Our story kicks off in Canaan with a 17-year-old named Joseph. Now, Joseph is the son of his father Jacob's favorite wife, Rachel, which makes him the undeniable favorite child. And Jacob is not subtle about it, not in the slightest. He gives Joseph this incredible, ornate, vibrant coat. And you have to understand, this is way more than just a gift. It's a constant, wearable symbol of his father's favoritism. Think of it like a walking billboard saying, "I'm the favorite." That, plus the fact that Joseph had a habit of bringing back bad reports about his brothers, created this just incredibly poisonous atmosphere at home. And this right here just lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, you've got Joseph, special, set apart, wearing that coat. And on the other, you have his 10 older half-brothers, whose resentment is simmering into this deep-seated hatred. It got so bad, the text says they couldn't even manage to speak a kind word to him. The family was completely and totally fractured. So, as if things weren't already tense enough, Joseph starts having these dreams. But here's the thing. Instead of maybe keeping them to himself, he shares them with everyone, which was basically like pouring gasoline on an already raging fire. The first dream is, it's pretty on the nose. He dreams they're all out in the field, working, binding sheaves of grain, and all of a sudden, his sheaf stands up tall while all 11 of his brothers' sheaves literally bow down to it. The message couldn't be clearer. One day, you're all gonna bow to me. You can just imagine how well that went over at the breakfast table. But he doesn't stop there. In a second dream, he takes it up a notch. This time, it's not just his brother's sheaves. No, it's the sun, the moon, and 11 stars, representing his entire family, all bowing down to him. For his brothers, this was it. This was the ultimate proof of his arrogance and their absolute worst fear coming to life. What's so fascinating is that even Joseph's own father, Jacob, calls him out on this one. You can hear the disbelief in his voice with this quote. Jacob clearly saw the arrogance. But, and this is a crucial little detail, while his brother's jealousy just boiled over, the story tells us that Jacob quietly tucked those dreams away and remembered them. And this is the breaking point. One day, Jacob sends Joseph out all by himself to check on his brothers, who are way out in the fields. And as they see him coming in the distance, they don't see their brother. They see that dreamer, and they see their chance. The escalation is just so swift and so cold. Their very first instinct, let's kill him. The oldest brother, Reuben, steps in, not really out of love, mind you, but more to avoid having literal blood on their hands. He suggests just tossing Joseph into a dry well, but he's secretly planning to come back later and rescue him. But while Reuben's gone, another brother, Judah, comes up with a more, let's say, practical idea. Hey, what profit is there if we kill him? Let's sell him. And there it is. That's the price, 20 shekels of silver. That's the value they put on their own brother's life. For that, they pull him out of the pit and sell him into slavery to a passing caravan of merchants on their way down to Egypt. But the betrayal doesn't stop there. It can't. Now they have to cover their tracks, and the plan they come up with is just as cruel as the crime itself. They have to go home and face their father. Their method is it's sadistic. They take that very coat, the symbol of their father's favoritism and their own jealousy, and they destroy it. They dip it in goat's blood, they make it look like he was attacked, and then they present it to Jacob. They force him to identify it and draw his own horrible conclusion. And that cold question, is this your son's robe? It's just devastating. And Jacob, he just breaks. He's absolutely shattered. He believes his favorite son has been ripped apart by a wild animal. He tears his clothes and enters this period of deep, inconsolable mourning that he says will literally follow him to his grave. The lie has completely destroyed him. But while their father is left shattered by a lie, Joseph's journey is really just beginning. The story doesn't end in that pit.
he gets sold again, this time in Egypt, to a very powerful man named Potiphar, who happens to be the captain of the pharaoh's own guard. So why are we still telling this story thousands of years later? What's the big deal? It's because the betrayal, as awful as it is, isn't actually the end of the story. It's the engine. This whole thing is about the profound, shocking, unintended consequences of a single, hateful act.
And this is where the story's ultimate irony just hits you over the head. In trying to destroy the dreamer and stop his prophecies from ever coming true, the brothers actually become the very instruments that make them happen. By selling him into Egypt, they put him on the exact path that leads him to power. Their terrible act of betrayal becomes the very mechanism that will one day save their entire family from starvation.
And that leaves us with this really provocative final thought to chew on. The story of Joseph forces us to wrestle with this incredibly complex question. It suggests that somehow even the most malicious things people do can be woven into a much larger story of redemption and survival. And that is a really powerful idea to think about.